Welcome back. The details. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and Syrian counterpart Bashar al-Assad addressed Saturday via phone the latest developments in the regional situation, exchanging views on the seriousness of the escalating regional tensions. Details follow.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received on Saturday a phone call from Syrian counterpart Bashar al-Assad. Two presidents exchanged their greetings on the occasion of the new Hijri year, expressing their deep wishes for all Arab and Islamic countries to achieve peace and prosperity. The call tackled the latest regional developments, where President al-Sisi and Syria's al-Assad warned against the danger of mounting escalation that the region was witnessing, stressing the importance of preserving peace and stability in the region. Additionally, there was a strong emphasis on refusing any attempt to undermine the Palestinian cause. Both leaders reiterated their full rejection of any attempt to liquidate the Palestinian cause or displace the Palestinian people. President al-Sisi affirmed that Egypt continues its efforts to reach a permanent ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, delivering sustainable humanitarian aid to the Palestinian people in collaboration with a number of presidents, governments and international aid agencies. They also discussed reaching a settlement for the Palestinian cause according to the two-state solution, with East Jerusalem as the capital, ultimately leading to the establishment of an independent Palestinian state.
Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli inspected on Saturday Al Fustat Hills Park as part of renovating historic Cairo. The Premier was accompanied by Minister of Local Development Hisham Amna, Minister of Housing Sharif al-Sherbini, Cairo Governor and a host of senior state officials. Details follow.
Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli directed the need to intensify efforts to speed up the execution of Al Fustat Hills Park project. Prime Minister's remarks came on Saturday during his tour to check the implementation of work progress on a number of national projects carried out in Cairo, where he is accompanied by Minister of Local Development Hisham Amna, Minister of Housing Sharif al-Sherbini, Cairo Governor Khaled Abdel and a host of senior state officials. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli also gave his directives to accelerate the implementation of Al Fustat Hills Park project to be ready for operation as soon as possible. The Premier urged all concerned bodies to speed up the rate of work and provide needed facilities in order to start gradual operation of the project. Madbouli stated the project will offer a window on Egypt's history and also aims to be a tourist attraction for regional and international visitors. Madbouli underscored his keenness on inspecting projects in the area of historical Cairo in the first tour since the announcement of the new cabinet reshuffle. The park is built on 500 acres in the center of historic Cairo and is said to be the largest in the Middle East. It will also have an ecological leap as the largest green space in the heart of Cairo.
The Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Al-Imam Al-Akbar Sheikh Ahmed Al-Tayyib, expressed the readiness of Al-Azhar and Council of Muslim Elders to hold a global conference for coexistence in Thailand, with the attendance of a number of religious leaders and figures worldwide, to stress the importance of enhancing peaceful coexistence and human brotherly behavior. This came during a visit by Al-Tayyib to Thailand's king in the Royal Palace in Bangkok. During the visit, Al-Tayyib said that Al-Azhar institution is ready to establish centers to teach Arabic language in Thailand and increasing educational scholarships. For his part, the Thai king expressed his happiness of Al-Azhar's Grand Imam visit, hailing the efforts exerted by Al-Azhar and the Council of Muslim Elders in spreading and boosting values of dialogue, peace, tolerance, and human coexistence, expressing the keenness of his country to push cooperation and relations with Al-Azhar. Hamas accepted a U.S. proposal to begin talks on releasing Israeli hostages, including soldiers and men, 16 days after the first phase of an agreement aimed at ending Gaza genocide war, according to a senior Hamas source.
Efforts to secure a ceasefire and hostage release in Gaza gathered momentum after Gaza made a revised proposal on the terms of a deal, and Israel said negotiations would continue into next week. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the head of the Mossad intelligence agency returned from an initial meeting with mediators in Doha, the capital of Qatar, and negotiations would continue into next week. Netanyahu's office said there were still gaps between the sides. Earlier, a source in Israel's negotiating team spoke on condition of anonymity, said there was now a real chance of achieving an agreement. The remarks were in sharp contrast to past instances in the 9-month-old war in Gaza, when Israel said conditions attached by Hamas were not acceptable. Palestinian official close to the internationally mediated peace efforts said the latest proposal by the Hamas group could lead to a framework agreement if embraced by Israel. He said Hamas was no longer demanding as a precondition an Israeli commitment to a personal ceasefire before signing an agreement and would allow negotiations to achieve that throughout a 6-week phase.
Israeli occupation military continued its bombardment in sporadic areas in Gaza Strip for the 274th day of aggression on the besieged Gaza Strip. The occupation army committed 3 massacres that left 29 martyrs and 100 injured during the past 24 hours alone. Details follow.
Israeli occupation military continued its bombardment in sporadic areas in the Gaza Strip for the 274th day of aggression on the besieged Strip. The occupation army committed 3 massacres that left 29 martyrs and 100 injuries during the last 24 hours. Separate Israeli airstrikes killed at least 6 people in central Gaza, including 2 children at a home and at least 1 United Nations worker. Around 250,000 people were affected earlier in the week by an Israeli order to evacuate half of the southern city of Khan Yunis and a wide swath of the surrounding area. The health ministry in Gaza said Saturday that at least 38,098 people had been killed in 9 months of genocide war on Gaza. The toll includes at least 87 deaths over the last 24 hours. It added that 87,705 people have been wounded in the Gaza Strip since the war began. UNRWA said that Israeli troops continue their aggression on land, air and sea across the Gaza Strip with new orders of evacuation in Khan Yunis. It added that there are 1.9 million people in Gaza which were displaced, including those who've moved 9 to 10 times. Violence also flared in the occupied West Bank, where Israeli occupation forces killed 7 people in a raid and an airstrike. Palestinian Health Ministry says over 500 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli fire in the West Bank.